In 1334, the Arabian traveler Ibn Battuta visited this famous Turkic city for the first time. The dervish described in his note his impressions. I explored the world, but this city is the largest after Baghdad. It has Han's headquarters and a variety of guest houses. 4 mosques shine in all their glory here. It is the first written accord about the city of Saraichik. It grew to be the capital of the Kazakh Khanate 1.5 centuries later. Greetings, my name is Shinbolat Pazil. You are watching Travel Around Kazakhstan TV program. The legendary town surrounded by an aurora of mystery. It located 55 kilometers away from Atırau, at the mouth of the Saraichik River. There is an opinion that the town established in the 10th to 11th centuries. Founders of Saraichik chose the best strategic position, as people would say now. It is on the border between Europe and Asia, and nearby the Caspian Sea. Right here, in this spot, interaction of cultures occurred. Through merchants and their products, people learned about the existence of unknown lands. This combination made a city a success. In its best years, it was the largest city of the Golden Horde, the concentration of nobility and advanced thought. The copiousness of the city attracted invaders as well. It is enough to say that during its heyday, up to 700 caravans arrived every month. Even more, 100 of processions per day. Saraichik was on the trade route from Europe to China through Volga region, and Khorazm. The metropolitan was an outpost that ensured the safety of caravan paths. People carried through it such goods as all sorts of silk, porcelain, eastern spices, and sweets, respectively. The Great Silk Road was founded in the 2nd century BC, held in close proximity to Saraichik, thanks to which it flourished. Firstly, the road was used mainly for export of the finest silk to Europe and China. More and more countries and their economic interests got drawn to its orbit later. It is possible that masters of Saraichik, who were well known for their skill in jewelry and ceramics, delivered their goods to European states. The bowls found during the excavations of the ancient city can tell about that, in particular. They were very light and adorned with beautiful ornaments.
Судя по археологическим находкам, Сарайшик был...
Judging by archaeological findings, Saraichik was a city with a well-developed culture. It had plumbing and sewage from ceramic pipes. Metallurgical and pottery production established in Saraichik, as well as coins minted. There were indications that Saraichik was a large educational and cultural center. It was a center of trade, crafts, and a city of advanced utilities. Saids, sheikhs, mullah, haji, salafis, sufis, and durici lived and buried in this earth. Other people considered them to be descendants of the Prophet Muhammad. Moreover, the unique find of the Holy Book of Muslims in women's grave is known. This fact tells that education was available to women in Saraichik at those times too. Remember that the society was extremely patriarchal then.
Вот так выглядят сарайшикские кирпичи.
This is what Saraichik bricks look like. Local residents tear them up and build their own houses for several centuries. Besides that, the celebrated Guria fortress had been built from these blocks. Building pieces of Saraichik is a specific topic of conversation. The city had a lot of craftsmen who made them. Even those with stamps reached our days. Every self-respecting brick artisan put a personal brand on them. It was a quality mark of sorts. Inside the citadel are symbols of collapsed structures and crypts, which, as you can see, were made from good burnt bricks and tiles. From all crypts, only one tomb remained. It has name of Han's grave. Believe that 7 Hans buried in Saraichik. They were Sartak, Birke, Toktakia, and Janibek from Golden Horde era, Kasim and Kazakh Han, Ismail and Uraz, who were Nogai leaders. It has been argued that Mengu Timur Han found his last resting place in the ancient hill fort, apart from them, but there is no reliable information about that. Another legend tells about an untimely death of the beautiful daughter of Kasim Han. He was one of the city rulers who managed it from 1511 to 1518. Story tells that the inconsolable ruler ordered to entomb her with a dowry and golden boat, which she loved to ride on the lake and feed swans. All of those who buried the Han's daughter were instantly killed to keep the place a top secret. However, some archaeologists believe that it is not fable. They hope to find the burial ground. In 1395, the city of Saraichik destroyed by armies of the great conqueror Timur. However, in the early 15th century, the area resurrected. The House of Rulers of Nogai Horde was here first. Headquarters of first Kazakh Khans situated later at the site as well. The metropolis reached its peak in the 14th century. In 1580, fleeing from the persecution of the Russian Tsar, runaways from Don region and other places, so-called thieving Cossacks, got to the boat to upstream of Ural River, attacked Saraichik, and ruined it to such an extent that residents had to move to Khiva, situated on the territory of contemporary Uzbekistan. After that, the township got abandoned for almost 60 years. Now, the fort quickly disappears from the face of the earth, the process related to the change of the Ural River course. However, archaeological expedition conducted here several times allowed keeping the appearance of the ancient city and household items of townsfolk for us. Explorers are optimistic. The dream of getting one-of-a-kind exhibits is alive. It is opposite to the well-established opinion. It says the enormous part of the hill fort with artifacts already washed away by water. The point is that quite recently, people found the Saraichik map in archives of Moscow. One of the Russian investigators made it. According to the scheme, the prominent part of the first settlement might be under the ground at the moment. They say you can detect human remains near the Ural River, below Saraichik excavations. It suggests that settlement based on the site of even more olden necropolis or port. Some historians think that another earlier village hid under the first cultural level. If they found it, a new chapter will open in the tale of Saraichik city.
Мына жерде бас сүйектер көрсетілген. Бұларда қазба жұмыс барысында Сарайшықта табылған сүйектер. Енді мына жоғарыда тұрған бұл
Here, you can see head bones of a camel, found by archaeologists during diggings of Saraichik. As you see, old camels were larger than contemporary ones. We put 2 bone samples for comparison. Another aspect of desert ships is them having permanent teeth as predatory animals. This is shoulder blade, but it is still unknown to which animal it belonged.
Бұндай тістер жоқ. Ал жілік астындағы жауырын, бұл екеуі белгісіз сүйектер. Ненікі екені, бірақ та осы жерде қазба жұмыс барысында табылған сүйектер.
Life of a simple citizen is of equal interest. A typical house constructed from mud bricks and had 2 4-rooms of 4 by 5 meters. Along 3 walls, bench sofa was surely there. It was 1.5 to 2 meters wide, heated by horizontal channels arranged inside it. Heating tubes passed from fireplace and tandir, which relocated from the room through vertical entry made inside wall of roof chimney. Builders coated walls and sofas with clay plaster and whitened. They made floors from rammed clay. Jaik River always played an important part in trade relations of medieval brokers. Probably, it is the reason why this river, as the Ural Mountains, has a status of dividing line between Europe and Asia. The reservoir always affected Saraichik port. Because of fishing, water represented a huge part in the city economy and topography, but it was not always successful. Reserve drowned the place many times and left people without shelter. For example, citizens know that the 3rd stage in center life occurred at the turn of the 15th to 16th century. It related to a change of the Saraichik River stream. It cut around the town from the west and derived from northwest periphery of Jaik. Atarau region is a land of harsh climate conditions. Strong winds come almost all year round. All of it, as usual, negatively affects ruins of hill fort Saraichik. In addition to resilient winds, the city still washed off by Zaik, like in the old times. But now, humans have technologies that stop the water. These works are already underway. Han Ordali Saraichik Reserve Museum opened in 1999 on the base of objects and pieces collected by scholars over the years of archaeological exploration. The Han Pantheon is a part of the exhibition hall complex, as well as ruins of buildings and fort walls of Saraichik settlement. Museum opened on the 3rd of September 1999. Its proponent was Ismangali Tasmangambietov, who was Akim of the region at that time. Residents called it a Saraichik Han Horde Museum Fund then. From October of 2018, it is under the direct responsibility of the Ministry of Culture and Sport of the Republic of Kazakhstan. Now, the location named as the Saraichik State Historical and Cultural Fund. The unknown pottery master carved lines of Turkic poet and philosopher Yusuf Balasaguni from the 12th century on the 15th century clay pitcher. It is one of the rare pieces of the Atarau Regional Museum of Local History. Philosopher wrote, "The beauty of a person is his face. The beauty of the face is in the eyes. The tongue is the glory of mouth. The glory of tongue is the word. Knowledge and art are another splendor of human. He must sacrifice his soul for the awareness. These entries are immortal in literal and metaphorical sense. This further proves the residents of Saraichik settlement were enlightened people." The scheme of olden town is on this map. You can see a layout of homes and infrastructural facilities. Moreover, the city looked like this before the direction of the Ural changed. Most buildings from the left side of the Shim drifted into the Caspian Sea.
С левой стороны схемы унесена в Каспийское море.
Location had a well-designed arrangement with straight wide streets and squares. The lack of fort walls helped in active development of the city, thus having a valuable effect on its economy. People would call it now the free economic zone of those times. Mangistau architecture, Nazarbek Sain, is the author of the symbolic pantheon. Its height is 17 meters. Mausoleums dedicated to Abai and Shakarim are among his most notable works. The distinguished architect was supposed to reflect that this spot is sacred for Kazakhs. Hans, great warriors, artisans, and simple citizens entwined in the tight tangle of history in this land, as well as life-changing events and abundant battles, and the architect succeeded. He set 7 symbolic kolpitas tombstones in honor of Kazakh rulers in the pantheon. The dried apple tree is in its center. People leave bands on tree. They believe that it can help to recover from serious illnesses. The folk trail to Saraichik never overgrows. Residents arrived here to worship and honor ancestors in the Soviet times and even before that.
Сөйдеп айтып едім, қарағым несін айтасың, оны мен көріп отырған адаммын ғой деді. Халық рақатын көрген заттың иесі болады, соның есесін алып отыр.
A few years ago, the number of suicide cases increased. One old man had arrived and asked me to find an old tree and plant it. He said that people will remember their history and spirits of ancestors then might forgive them. To my question where I am going to find it, he answered that I will receive a sign. Otherwise, I would not find my peace. When I saw this time-worn and withered apple tree, I placed it here. Suicide stopped instantly, and people called the tree sacred from then on. It did not lose its properties yet. Recently, 12 ill people arrived. They went home healthy the next day.
12 көтеріліп ауырған адамдар, екеуі екі реттен түнеді, үшеуінің аяқ қолын байлап әкеліп түнетті. Таңертең тұрғанда адам қатарына қосылып кетіп жатыр.
Today, ancient city and its success back in the day clearly become synonymous with Atarao. Like somebody passed the baton from past to present and future to important oil center of the Republic. The modern and developed city managed to curb river into the concrete.
В своей статье «7 граней Великой степи» Ельбасы говорит:
The chief of state once wrote in his 7 Edges of the Great Steppe article that historical conclusions of latter decades support the fundamental link of our predecessors with the most advanced technological innovations of their times. They allow taking a fresh look at the role of the Great Steppe in world history. Truly, Saraichik is not mere ruins. It is a meaningful site for Kazakhs. Hans yurts formerly stood right here, and they exercised crucial solutions for Eurasia. I am Shimbolat Pazil, and you watch Travel Around Kazakhstan show.